Shalom everybody, it's going to be this week on Lag BaOmer actually the 17th Yartzeit of Ben Bernstein, my friend from Liverpool University who I lived with for 3 years, 1 year in the Hillel house, and we shared a house in Arundel Avenue for the last 2 years of university. And we all know, unfortunately, he sadly passed away in a car accident in the Dartford Tunnel back in the year 2006. And many things were started in Ben's memory, especially his father, his late father, started up an Acts of Kindness campaign, which many people we must have logged in more than in the tens of thousands of minutes of kindness. Many people did all throughout the last 17 years, especially the campaign was running. And I did a few more videos about Ben. I did 2 last year, and I did one on which would have been his birthday on the 3rd of October this year. So this is the 4th video on it, and I want to share some more memories within regards to our special friend Ben. A lot of people that are listening now would know him from high school, would know him from university, would know him from just in general, from around. He met so many different people, and some people won't know him also. So I will want to share a few memories within regards to Ben Bernstein. We know he was the character in that would just go for it. That was his thing. Just do it. You know, don't take a lazy attitude in life. Just be like that soldier he was like, let's just say, in this world. And one thing I remember is that it was just motivation the whole time. He wouldn't just sit back and be the lazy person. He'd go for it. He would do it. He would, any task, it was to do chesed, to kindness, to help other people, he would do it straight away. He'd see a mitzvah, which people would not be doing. He would do it straight away. Guys, anyone that was living back in Liverpool would remember there was someone named Melvin, Mr. Lipper, I believe his name was. Very old, elderly gentleman, very nice man also. And I remember it was Ben actually went out of his way many times to speak to him, to engage in conversation with him. And I think even went to his house one time, if I'm not mistaken. And many people did. And, what a kindness it was of him to do that. Someone that was davening inside the synagogue, a regular inside the synagogue in Liverpool, who would go on Shabbat and everything else. And Ben would engage, whether it was with Mr. Lipper, Melvin, or it was with other people. A random taxi driver who was in a bad mood or was in a very upset mood, Ben would cheer him up straight away. I remember a story one time in the night time, it was recollected over before, where there was a depressed taxi driver speaking about what a bad day he's had and everything else. And Ben straight away cheered him up, made him feel good about himself, talked him into good things and everything else. That was Ben. He had a radiant of positivity the whole time, a lot of time, and helped me very much throughout my few years in university, and many other people. So a few other stories I wanted to relate over. I remember one time there was in the news, I think it was back in the year 2003, we just moved into the house in Arundel Avenue. And I remember at the time there was a football manager, Alex Ferguson. So Alex Ferguson, you found out in the news, in the media, that he had an irregular heartbeat. And it was a newspaper, there was a picture of him, but there was a picture of him in the newspaper with all smiles and put his feet back, saying it's just an irregular heartbeat, keep going. So I think it was me and Ben, we took that picture and we hanged it on the wall, if anyone remember, from the university, to show like the positive attitude that over here Sir Alex Ferguson had, the football manager, how upbeat he is and everything else. Ben wants it to radiate with other people, to teach a moral lesson within regards to that, even if there could be something very bad happening, whatever, I see a positive in it. Be positive still. One could be all depressed and everything else, or take a positive attitude. And we see that from the Torah. I think it's Lubavitcher Rebbe says, if you think positive things and good things are going to arise at the end. Want a positive energy the whole time. Another story within regards to Ben, an incredible characteristic about him. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but this was something that happened. We were arranging a house. It was we were still in the middle of the first year of university, and we were going to be 5 of us that were going to live in this second year house in university, which I was part of, and there was 3 other people, and there was one housemate that I believe was not so keen necessarily on moving in, probably didn't know us so well and everything else, and someone he knew from high school. So I remember we drew a lottery who is going to get the best room. There were 5 different rooms in the house, and a few of them were really good rooms. All of the rooms were quite good, actually. None of the rooms were bad, but a couple of the rooms were absolutely amazing. Two of them were okay, and then there was another one which wasn't as desirable. It was downstairs, next to the kitchen, next to the salon, and we had a lot of people coming over the whole time. So we did the lottery for the room. I remember we were in the Brook House. If anyone will remember it listening, some people will know what I'm talking about, but some people won't. So we were sitting there and with a drink, and we did the lottery. And he drew the number one number. Number one number means you have first right to choose the best room. And then the other person that didn't necessarily want to move into the house and was like, not as keen, it was. This individual, this person actually drew number 5, had the last choice this person had. So Ben had the first choice. He had this other person had a 5th choice of the room. So what happened was, straight away, that person was not so positive straight away. So Ben immediately swapped the numbers, gave his number and swapped it with the other person's number. So instead of him getting the first choice room, which is so selfless, remember, it's going to be a whole year he is going to be living in this university. He gave that up for the other person and then chose the less desirable. He got the less desirable room at the end, the one that probably no one would have really wanted ideally. And he took it and was positive and didn't care about it whatsoever. And I remember, I have to put my hands up, I think it was the next year when Ben also had 2 new housemates. And I didn't necessarily want room number 5 or number 4. I wanted one of the better rooms. I remember when I got the decent room, I started cheering and everything else. And I didn't think about other people that might not have got as good of a room. I was that guilty of not being considerate for others. I was so excited about it. But Ben was the total opposite. He was selfless when he got his choice. He gave it away to someone else and had the least desirable room. And unfortunately, at the time when I got the decent room in the 3rd year lottery, I wasn't as sensitive to the other people, and I have to apologize about that. You know who I'm. I remember that reaction I did, and maybe I shouldn't have reacted like that. But Ben had the total opposite of that. Other stories I could say over within regards to Ben. We all know I've already related over in the other videos how he cooked one Shabbat for 60 people. There were guest rounds the whole time. He was including everybody. He didn't want anyone else to feel bad. He would include everyone, whoever the person is. He had such a diverse group of friends. In fact, he didn't believe in having one group of friends, having a clique. It was just be good to everybody. There's good in every single person. So he actually broke all the rules of people having cliques and everything else. He was actually inclusive of everyone. And that's something that very much, unfortunately, a lot of people in all societies we don't have in those days, but he saw the good in everyone, the good characteristics in everyone. Yeah, so many more stories. Another story I remember at the time of my graduation, I believe it was. I haven't related this over in any of the articles I did about him. I think it was in 2005. We're talking about June 2005. And I realized it was like half a day before the graduation ceremony. I didn't actually get there was a special gown. Naturally, when people are graduating, I didn't actually know about it. I forgot about it. I didn't register for one reason or another. And I was so ecstatic I got my degree, but I wasn't so particular on having my photo and everything else, putting it on the mantelpiece or anything else. So I didn't order a gown at the time. So Ben knew about this. And then he said, you know what, if you don't go with the gown, I'm not going to go with the gown also. He didn't want me to feel bad that I forgot it. Naturally, at the end, we both ordered our gowns at the end and did the photos. And a photo in the Jewish Chronicle was posted after he passed away with him inside this special university graduation outfit, which I got at the end. But he didn't make me feel bad. He made me feel good about the mistake I made at the time within regards to it. And something very much he did, If someone might have done maybe something not so good during the university time, he wouldn't remind someone about it. He would just blend in, straight away, engage with those people straight away. I've spoken about the kindness he did a lot of the time. His love for Israeli foods he had. He loved the Tavel products of foods. I relate to the Israeli pickles, the Israeli sausages, whatever it would be. The hummus, the takinas, he used to make a lot of them, I remember, a lot of the time. And one thing also he did a lot was he believed in the truth. A lot of times he would stick up for Israel also. So I didn't mention this before. I would now. We also had a mutual friend that passed away 5 months ago, Adam Nathan, Avram Ben Bracha. Unfortunately, sadly passed away, who was very, very loyal to Ben. He was a best friend. He was really, really a top-class person. and he left, unfortunately, a wife and 4 young daughters. A daughter that was just born after he sadly passed away also. But a lot of it, what they did was also very selfless at times. They would come and defend Israel a lot of times. If there was like an event that was, to advocate for Israel, they would give up their time at the time. And that's many people back in the day. Obviously, in those days, a lot more people were doing it, but they were selfless doing it. And Ben also was that. He had a love for Israel. And one of the things he wanted to do, actually, when he was working to earn enough money, as I stated in a previous video, he was working during the year 2005, 2006. He could save enough money to go at the end to yeshiva. And he said potentially it could have been a long-term move. So unfortunately, that did not happen. And we know he wasn't given a chance to go to yeshiva at the end. And we know that we just came out of the Yud Daled Iyar, which is Pesach Sheni. It's known about the second Pesach, it's a Pesach, a second Pesach. Pesach Sheni is for people that weren't able to celebrate the first Pesach in the Torah time period. So they were given a second chance to do things. So what one thing Ben didn't get was that opportunity to necessarily go to yeshiva. Unfortunately, he didn't get married at the end and build a family. But we, in our lives, we've got, if we are analyzing our lives now where we are at the moment, we feel many of us are feeling that we fell short in many of the things that we have done. We've got that chance. Thank God we are in this world. We're here to do good. And Ben tried to do as much good as he did. And he went on a religious journey in his last maybe 2-3 years. He was like fully Shomer Shabbat at the end, was learning Torah. He was going to Minyanim, especially in his later months. He was going to the synagogues every single day for the 3 different prayers many times. And that's one thing. He loved unity. He had such a diverse, he didn't stick to one synagogue. He liked to go to the Chabad synagogue or to the Sephardi synagogue in East London. He would like to join in. He had a passion for it also. Yes, he was just full of kindness. And he looked at every day. I remember it was one time we were in Greenbank, Liverpool, in the Hillel house over there. I think it was me, Ben, another friend of ours. I mentioned his name, Lee Dexter. So I hope you're listening now. Hi, if you're listening. And we were talking about all the resources there are in university. I remember it must have been the first 2 months of university, how we should take advantage of the resources. I remember in the University of Liverpool, they had like massive libraries. Every book you can imagine, even Jewish books there were over there. And we said, I remember the 3 of them, I remember Ben and Lee were speaking at the time, how, one day we'll regret not taking advantage of all the different material, all the different things that we've got here in university. We've got so many things over there. We could choose university to study a lot and excel in whatever we want to do. Or some people could waste their 3 years in university. And Ben very much, I remember his time, he used to do all-nighters in the library when he was doing his exams. He would just freestyle it, as they say, and will learn up a lot of the night to try and get his good marks, his good grades in university, respectively. He tried to take his resources and he did it. And in the last year or 2 in his life, he started going into Torah. He started learning the Torah every single day. He had kavua time, a fixed time every single day. He was learning Torah and grabbing that opportunity to get ready for yeshiva and going to the synagogue where he could. He was helping with different tasks. He was helping with the minyanim. So many different kindness he actually did during, especially the last couple of years of his life. He went on a religious journey and he seized it. He says, if I don't do it now, then maybe I won't end up doing it at the end. And he actually passed away at the end. Car accident actually came on the eve of Lag BaOmer. And actually, a friend of his was actually, I think it was an engagement party, if I'm not mistaken. And he was actually going to that engagement party. He actually passed away on his way to do a big mitzvah at the end. He was actually on his way to do a mitzvah to mesamech the bride and the groom. They're having an engagement party, about to get married. It's an incredible, exciting thing. And he actually went there. He wanted to make them happy and everything else. And unfortunately, he didn't get to the event at the end, but was on his way to a mitzvah. So guys, I know that it's been 17 years. Let's continue doing acts of kindness in his memory. This Yartzeit of his, the 17th Yartzeit, it falls on Lag BaOmer. It's actually the day when a great rabbi, great sage, Rabbi Shimon Ben Yochai passed away. It's where they light bonfires. Everyone in Israel people go to Meron, and all over the world they do. It's a day of celebration. Let's try and do acts of kindness on this Lag BaOmer and radiate it through the whole year. Let's do it. If we feel we're lacking on something, we might be falling short on something, whatever it might be, let's try and work on those things. God put us in this world to work on things we might be struggling with. And Ben was one person that would want to conquer it. If it was something difficult to do, he would just go for it. He would try and work on it and everything else. He wasn't shy. He wouldn't let it shy away and everything else. So let's do acts of kindness. Let's be positive. Let's greet people like Ben did. Let's be diverse like Ben did. And let's try and keep mitzvot and everything else as possible. Guys, have a meaningful Lag BaOmer. Try and I've done a few other videos on Ben. You can look over those past videos. I shared other insights in those videos also. And let's all be united together, and just good things are happening. Guys, Shavua Tov, because I'm recording this after Shabbat. And let's all be well. Have a great day, guys. Bye.